Hello and welcome to Candid Conversations with Liz. My apologies for starting late. We had some technical issues, but we are here now and I can see, oh yes, I have people already waiting in the chat room. I have Namfe Ochogu. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I have Silas Tatari saying hello. Hello right back at you. Shalom Ebie says hi. I'll have Remy Togun and John Ebie. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much. Esther Owojaye, I see you. Esinet Kolade, yes, I see you. Thank you so much. Wabuife Oluchi, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for holding on with me. Thank you for just being there waiting for us to start. I'm so sorry we had a technical challenge, but we are on right now. So, welcome on the show. My name is Liz. Yes, that's me, Liz. And this is Candid Conversations with Liz. And today we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic, little foxes in relationships and marriages. I know you know what little foxes are, but we're going to be talking about it today and we may shift some of your mindsets about little foxes from the conversations we'll be having today. And I have amazing, amazing, amazing guests on the show this evening. I have two wonderful guests, and they'll be introducing themselves right now before we go right into the conversation. Hello.
Hi, Liz. It's good to be sitting here with you.
Yes, likewise, likewise.
My name is Mojisola Olatunwo,
Mm-hmm.
aka
AKA Moji. What do you do?
I'm a
I'm a
librarian,
librarian.
a tailor, and a whole lot of other things.
Many feathers.
Many feathers.
Okay.
Many feathers.
Interesting. So, Moji, in one word, what would you say marriage is to you?
Marriage, in one word, purpose.
I can say you're living your purpose, right?
I'm living my purpose.
Great. Okay, sir. Can we meet you, sir?
Oh, thank you very much, and thanks for having me here. My name is Johnson Kayode. I'm an HR professional, and I teach also. I'm married for about 13 plus years. I'm blessed with 3 children.
Great, great. You say you're a teacher, so we are
Yes.
in for lectures this evening. Amazing. Thank you so much for doing this with me. Okay, so I think we'll just dive right into it because time is fast spent already. Um, little foxes, little foxes in relationships, in marriages. It's a very broad topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very broad. So I'd like to know your thoughts on what little foxes are.
Okay.
Who do we start with? Okay, yes, ladies first. Yes, ladies first.
Okay. Many times when we talk about marriages and breakdown in relationships, now not just marriages, but in relationships generally, we look at the big things. We forget that the little drops of water constantly in a particular spot would eventually erode even the hardest of rock. And that's how I see little foxes. They're the things that you don't really take note of, you don't count them as important, but over time, consistently, they begin to wear at the bond between you. And when it wears down totally and the two parties involved are asked what caused the breakdown, they cannot explain.
Yeah.
That's how I see little foxes.
Okay. So, do you want to maybe say something?
From there, they are simply those things that are inconsequential but have become habitual. They are not, like you said, they are not taken seriously. They are taken to be things that I can overlook. After all, it's not very important. It's not the big things, but over the years, they begin to like create holes. And you know, it doesn't matter how strong a soldier is. Once there's a hole in the armor, it becomes an opportunity for that person to be attacked. So those are inconsequential things, but have become habitual. and begin to hurt the marriage.
Okay, okay. So we had them. Little foxes, very little, inconsequential, seemingly inconsequential. But when they gnaw at the roots, they destroy the vineyard, like everything about everything you've been trying to build over the years just come crashing down. We wouldn't want that to happen to us, would we? Okay, so I can see more people are joining in. I see Prime Flow Consulting Services. Hi, Annette Arrow. Thank you so much. 001 Neng. Evening, everyone. Good evening, ma'am. Joseph Boladuro. Hello, sir. Benny Tams. I see you. Yeah, so I have Ray Adeyeye also online. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. And please, if you are enjoying what you're listening to right now, I would just beg you, yeah, literally beg you to also share this with your friends, your relatives, your enemies, whoever. Just share it so that people would join us and get one or two things out of this. And if you have not subscribed, please do. Okay? Subscribe so you don't miss out on amazing, amazing topics and discussions we'll be bringing. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, so back to little foxes. These tiny, tiny things now, how do they impact? Like, what's the impact on our relationships, our marriages? I don't know. Do you have a particular story that you can share based on maybe an experience of a little fox or little foxes? I don't know how many crept in at some point, but I want this to be as practical as possible. You know, from stories, people get to learn more and they can relate. And your stories, how it happened and how you were able to come out of it, would give hope to someone else that is feeling like I'm all alone in this. I just want people to know that these things happen and you are not abnormal in any way. It happens a lot. So, do you have a story you'd like to share with us? Maybe I'll go,
let me
you
take
go
the
first.
lead here.
Okay.
I do HR, and I've had to manage several thousands of people moving from one organization to another. And you realize that as HR, almost everybody wants to be your friend when you are the
Oh
HR
yes.
manager.
Oh yes.
Then when you
Oh
now
yes.
happen to be the HR that is in quote nice, people want to come around because they feel you will listen to them and help them. I found myself in this situation during about the time of COVID. I was on my way home in Lagos and I boarded a BRT bus and there was a lady who sat next to me and she was totally down. So I began to gist with her, what's the problem and all that. And before you know, we became friends. She shared her burdens with me. I encouraged her, advised her on what she could do. It worked. And she's a single mother, so she was happy.
Wow.
Then we became friends. But one thing I do is I tell my wife about anyone I meet, regardless of the situation. So I told her, oh, I met someone in the bus. This is who she is. This is what she is. I liked her. And my wife said, oh, you liked her. She paid attention. Yes.
That's
Because
interesting.
from the beginning, what we agreed to do was we will talk about everything and we won't hide anything.
Very important.
So when I said that, at some point she came, she met my family, and we became friends. Then it got to a point we were so attracted to one another.
Whoa.
And it was going to lead to something else. But the only thing that helped me out of it was I kept talking to my wife. So there was a day we were supposed to catch up somewhere, and my wife said, if you go, it will be what you do not want to have happen that will happen. But what helped me out of it, we're still friends today. My wife knows how they relate, but we had to draw a line at some point because she could see that the attraction was becoming very strong. And this is the challenge where most of us, especially church folks, miss it. We have a good heart. We truly want to help, but we're not able to draw the lines. And that line comes when you begin to see that beyond helping these people, this person, I'm getting really exposed.
Oh yeah.
So it was at that point of exposure that my wife was able to say, you know what, cut it off.
Okay, because I see a bit of lust in there.
Yes.
Yeah. So from friendship it graduated to lust.
Yes.
Right. And thank God you were able to talk to your wife about that, because I think maybe 90% of men wouldn't. They will
Actually,
feel like they can manage it themselves.
not just men,
Even women,
not
yes.
just men. To say that sometimes even women find themselves in situations where a compliment hair, oh, your hair is lovely,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, and you've had that hair made for 3 days and your bestie is not noticing the
Oh
hair.
wow.
And then you get to work and someone says, oh, your hair is lovely. It doesn't matter. It's just a compliment. But then when it keeps happening over time, oh, you look nice today. And you're like, yeah, I actually do look nice today. Or, you know, oh, what's that perfume you're wearing? Then that's when you realize, okay, this handshake is beginning to extend beyond the elbow.
Yeah.
Which one is my perfume? Like,
Why are you telling me?
But you know, in most cases, the challenge we have is from the home. There
Yes.
could have been tension.
Possibly.
And where there is tension, the attention is not coming as it should. Then she gets to the office. And there's this guy that keeps giving the compliment. It gets so bad that at some point, the guy may not be thinking about anything at the beginning.
Little foxes.
And it could also be on the part of the lady complimenting a guy without any ulterior motive.
Yes.
But because where it's supposed to be coming from, it's not coming from there.
Yeah.
There's a gap. And this compliment outside seems to be bridging a gap. Before you know it, lust begins to set in, but not appearing as lust. You say, I just like him.
Yeah.
I just like her. Oh, it feels special having him or her as a friend. And before you know it, you begin to lower the guard. You begin to have that attraction.
That's like you have accepted this person as someone you can talk to.
Exactly.
You can be vulnerable with,
Yes.
other than your significant other.
Yeah. I
Right?
think the word is safe. You feel
Yes,
safe.
you feel safe
Yes.
with this person. Whoa, that's dangerous.
It is, and you know I think that's the importance of what we're talking about today. Little foxes. A text message here, WhatsApp chat there. They send you a video here today, and more times than not, in some cases it's not deliberate, but more times than not it is deliberate.
Yeah.
It's a constant, okay, this is a church girl, let me use it that way. This is a church girl, she's all uptight and all that, she minds her business, she's focused, she's happy. We can see that she's happy in her relationship or in her marriage. But you see, the devil doesn't want all that. And my mom says this all the time. She used to say when we were kids, I'm going to trouble. And she would say how that if the devil came with his horns and his tail wouldn't follow him, he comes in an Armani suit, usually, you know, and he's saying all the right things and making all the right moves. It's just a joke.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's just it's just a funny video, but it's a funny video that is coming. After a while, you find yourself checking for messages constantly.
You've grown
checking,
fonder, like
you've grown fonder. There's that attachment. You're beginning to feel safe around this person, and somewhere in your subconscious, you're telling yourself, "Nah, it's okay." But it is okay because, and I think this is where we should be cautious. It isn't okay because it's taking your focus away from, it's taking energy away from your significant other. It's just diverting that attention. So when you should be sitting down and having a relaxing conversation, you are on your phone laughing at funny videos that another man has sent to you or another woman has sent
So,
to you.
in other words, it steals intimacy.
It steals intimacy.
Okay. You see, let me come in here. Before I got married to my wife, we were together for 3 years. And when we started, I said, the day you stand with me and you cannot give meaning to the expression on my face, I said, run.
Oh,
said,
wow.
run.
She should run.
That's an interesting one.
That after you've run, when next we meet, we would explain ourselves. And we were for 3 years, and nothing happened. Now, there was this friend of ours when they were in school. There's a guy who was studying in Cyprus who wanted to marry the lady, but the lady was saying no. It was my wife that convinced her friend to say yes to him. Now, this guy came back to Nigeria after some years. He had not met my wife in person, but already liked my wife.
Oh, yes.
Then this attraction came, and he began to ask for my wife to meet him somewhere.
Oh, wow.
Now, he's married to my wife's best friend, who is like a younger sister to me. I had slept in their house before. Those days when I was working from state to state. And he began to chat and began to ask for some intimate engagement. And asking my wife, oh, he came to work in Lagos. My wife meet him somewhere. They were enjoying the chat. Then one day I sat my wife and I said, babe, I'll tell you something. Whatever you won't be proud of, don't go near it. I said,
Very
look,
correct.
if you do it, before I got married to you, there are things had settled within me. I came from a dysfunctional family. My father had 5 wives.
Oh.
So I knew how messed up my growing up was. I made a commitment that my children will not have, they won't see it. I said, but if you go there and you get involved in anything, you would carry the burden and it will hurt you badly. I said, so whatever you are not ready to really check, cut it off. And every time, in fact, there was a time we were low on cash. I left my job, things were not working, and this guy was working in a bank. He was going to come through for the family, and all she just needed to do was to just go catch up with him somewhere. He was going to give a huge amount of money. But the truth was, we sat down and said, we had never begged. God had always come through for us. So she did not. She did not because I said, don't go. She did not because we sat down. The major reason the little foxes thrive is because communication has broken down.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Where couples have opportunity to talk and you lay it bare. She can access my phone. I can use my thumbprint to unlock her phone. But she will not pick my phone for whatever reason.
That's trust.
And I won't pick her phone for whatever reason. We talk and it helps us a great deal. When we see anything that looks suspicious, they come. I'm saying this. Am I seeing well? And we're able to say, yes, you have seen well, but this is the idea. But that guy, up till February, we left. I moved my family to Abuja in March. Up till February, whenever the guy still talks, and whenever he sees me, he will almost be prostrating, saying Uncle K. Do you understand? And for me, I just like, you know what? It's a
You don't know what I know.
So it becomes very important there.
So I see communication is at the heart of the matter. To be able to set it at bay, you have to communicate. But what about, because I know there are certain people who don't do well with communication, like naturally introverted, they don't talk much, they prefer to sweep things under the carpet. How do you deal with such a case?
So, and I'm going to answer this because I talk a lot.
Mm.
And my husband doesn't. I do the talking for both of us. Now, we need to get it right. Talking is not communication. That somebody is introverted does not mean the person does not communicate. Communication is, we tend to think, and I think women generally, you know, this is a huge generalization, but women want to talk everything out. And men want to say,
Very logical.
you know, this is Pepper Maggie. Let's let's move on. So communication is not about necessarily about talking. It's about understanding. getting to that point where you both understand each other. You might not necessarily agree with each other, but you understand, okay, this is where this person is coming from. This
And
is
you
where,
respect the person's
and
opinion.
you respect
Yes.
the person's opinion, and yeah, you move from there where there's clarity.
Yeah. That's being assertive.
Okay.
Where there's clarity.
This is what
is it.
you stand
I
for.
remember
Yeah.
I remember when we first got married, and I talk a lot. I'm sure you know that. And he's the dark, silent type, and sometimes he's like, "Can I have some space?"
I feel like that's a little fox in itself.
I'm like, wait, I don't understand. Space. You've been out all day. What more space?
That's a little fox he had to deal with.
What more space? Actually, both of us had to deal with.
Okay.
What more space do you want? I want to tell you everything. And he's like, I'm tired. I need some quiet. The day it clicked to me, I was like, wait, calm down. You cannot make him like you. And he cannot make you like him. So where is the meeting ground? And we had to come to that agreement. So he says, you know what, babe? You talk, don't worry. Can I not be obligated to answer you? I hear you, I hear everything you say. Can I answer you in my own time?
But does he slip off at some point?
Yeah.
I suspected.
You see,
because sometimes, and then that's the thing. So now I had to now tone back as well on my talking a lot, because I now realize that really I've said everything I want to say in the first 30 seconds or 1 minute. Every other one is just, I like you, I want to just
I did the Maggie and everything.
the Maggie and the pepper.
I realize it's not just in the area of, say, lost. There are so many areas where little foxes could, creeping through a crack. And we have areas like typical. You just get married and all lovey-dovey, the first year you cannot breathe without this other person, cannot sleep if the person is not at home, cannot eat, you wait for the person to come back home. You're so intimate. Whenever you're together, you just lie down, cozy, just gist and sleep off from there. But there's something that happens sometimes, and I feel like this is a fox. Baby's coming.
Them.
Okay, for me.
And the affection, it switches, like, especially for a woman that really loves children. Not even necessarily really loves children, just your child, especially first child. And attention switches. Before you know, the man is just in one place, or the woman is just in one place, and it's about the child. So they lose each other because there is a child in the house. Did that happen with any of you?
Okay, for me, that wasn't a problem. And
Okay.
the reason was simple. Before we got married, certain things were set in place. And I encourage people to talk before they make any serious commitment.
Absolutely.
I did say to her that whether you have a child or not, I don't care. I'm marrying you because I love you and I want your companionship. Now, my wife, right from as a teenager, she started raising her nieces and nephews, children of people around, so she was used to children. When we were talking about getting married, she wanted to have 6 children. And I said no. No,
3
no.
months ago. 3 down, 3 months ago.
I wanted 2, but she got the 3rd one, and it's done. Yes. So now this is the idea, and we talked about it. And when she was pregnant, I did say to her that, see, I did not marry a child. You did not marry a child. But I will be there to support in whichever way, so that once we're both part of the journey, it's no longer her against me. It's more about We know that this baby is our responsibility. We jointly take care of the baby. And you know there are days she is tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where understanding comes in. To say, look, she is tired. The best you can do is to leave her alone. Now, you say you talk. I grew up on the street. I was talking less, but I was very violent. That the area we grew up together,
Yeah.
we stayed in the same area in
Actually,
Lagos.
at some point in our lives.
Oh, wow.
We never met.
Interesting.
Stops away from me, but I was the
That area.
troublesome student that I was attending Fagba Grammar School would disturb people to our school and beyond. And the reason was simple. I just could not express myself with too many words. I could only say few words. And because I could only say few words, it was like that. So what happened? I got born again.
Sweet.
And a journey began. And I realized that it won't always be about me. And because it won't always be about me, I began to read what are those things that will make me to be able to express myself. Now, people say, oh, you're a good talker, and I look at them. It's a journey. Now, my wife was raised from a family where everybody gets home, they sit down with daddy, mommy in the sitting room. They were all 4 girls in their house. So they sit down and daddy says, what happened during the day? And everybody gives account. For me, just get home. They can even blow your head and say, my friend, go away. So when we started, the 3 years we helped me to make that move from my side, be it like she said, to the middle of the. And I said to her, look, I like to think. So when you are talking, you made a statement, I'm already thinking. Then you are bombarding with 10 other statements. You've lost me. So there are times that she's talking, I just keep quiet. Talking, just do like this. And it gets to a point, you say, oh, okay, I'm all over you, right?
Okay, so she got to a point where she understood
Understood.
All over me. Then she's
mannerism and non-verbal
About communication.
non-verbal
Yeah.
communication.
So,
attention and she wanted. So that helped all. Now when we talk, that one that is talking, she's the one that is quiet. Like before I left the house this afternoon, I was not talking of what I did not like. No, I don't like this, I don't like this, why would you do this? And she was looking at me just smiling. The next minute it will be me smiling and her doing the talking, because we've gotten to that point when the understanding is there.
oh, wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, I can see the chat room is buzzing. Yes, so wow. Oh yes, Mommy Estinet is here. Oh, thank you, ma. Thank you, ma. Appreciate you, ma. Oromidayo Yemisi. Hello, thank you for joining. Samuel Ejoma, thank you so much. Ifo Malik, thank you. Kolade Muyiwa, hello, thank you for joining. Emeka Onwukwe, Melihan O, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Flo Oga, Adedoyin Sola Oyewole, I see you. I see you. I see you. Miriam Alabi. Oh, that's my Tosin. Hello, Tosin. Jennifer Agboli. I see there's a bit of network issue. Please just hang in. Just keep trying. Okay? Just keep trying. Foluke Okenwa. Yes. That's my sister in love. Thank you so much, Ma, for joining. Judith Adejo, my own very sister. Thank you. Thank you very much. Esther Falusi. Hey, thank you. Oh, so many people. So many. Timothy Alta. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Oluwabumi Okeshola, my darling Ore. Thank you. Adewale Oluwatoyin. I see you. Yes. So I see all of you. Yes. Somebody is saying here, very, very true. Communication is more than talking, right? Understanding is central to effective communication. Yes. Communication is not talking. It is not talking. Okay. So yes, it is not just about talking, right? Okay. So you shared experiences, but are there practical tips we can use to ward off these little foxes? I hear you talk about communication, right? You also mentioned communication. Are there some other tips we can, give to our audience to say, okay, apart from communication, these are other things? Because there's so many foxes. Like when it comes to um, being responsible for finances in the home, it's a major one. It's a really major one. When it comes to homemaking,
Mm. Hmm.
yes, it's major. And these things, sometimes we see them, but we don't see them. Or it feels like we don't see them.
Can I speak to that?
Okay, yes, please.
To the homemaking part of it.
Hmm.
It's how would you say, okay, let me put it like in a story form. How would you say that a couple got divorced because the wife just would not wash dishes at night before going to bed?
Okay, okay. Mm.
It sounds ridiculous. Like, okay, if she can't do it, outsource, right?
Yeah.
However, it's not. So the thing is, many times we look at the event as being the little fox, but it's actually the message behind the event that is the little fox. And these are things we're learning on a daily basis. I've been married, what, 13 years now,
Yeah.
and I'm still learning. We're both still learning these things. Little foxes are what? Irritants. It's like having a bit of sand in your shoe,
Oh yeah.
and you can't, you take off the shoe, you shake it off, you put it back, it's still there. It's
Yes.
just constantly irritating you. And after a while, you're like, look, I'm not wearing the shoe again. It's not about the shoe, it's about that thing.
Thing inside the shoe that you need to take off.
So when you talked about finances, finance is a big thing. I wouldn't even call it a little fox. It's one of the major things that causes a breakdown in relationships and all that. But many times it starts as that little irritant
Yeah.
to say, why are you doing this? Now, in communication, there's what they say, what I said, what I thought I said, and what you
You
heard.
heard. Yeah.
So the person is saying, I don't like dishes in the sink overnight. That's what he's saying. What he's trying to communicate to you is, can you try to be a bit more deliberate about this thing? The annoying thing with it is it begins to leach into other things.
Yeah.
So it starts with the dishes, and then it leaks into the kids played, they didn't tidy up on time. And that connection is made in the brain that this person does not hear me.
Mm.
Do you see how it connects? That's the interpretation that is given. This person does not care about me. And it goes both ways. And the only reason I can say this person does not care about me is if this person truly, truly cared about me, why is it that this thing that is so important to me is not important to this person? What is the other person hearing? This person has come with her nagging again. Why does she keep going on and on about my shoes? I like them by the door. And she is saying, I've mopped this place. Can you please not put your shoes there? Interpretation, he does not care about me. Interpretation, she nags a lot. So when you ask both of them, what is causing the rancor? Oh, he nags a lot. Oh, she doesn't just listen. She does not respect me anymore.
Wow.
Those are mere symptoms.
Do you understand? So there's that play and there's that, and now talking to even pre-marital relationships, when I love the word you use constantly, courting, when you're courting somebody or courting with someone, little things, expectations, or I expect him to open the door for me.
Yeah.
In his head, we're late for what we're going through.
You're waiting for me to open
You're
the
waiting
door.
for me to come back and open the door. In her head, this is a red flag. Does he love me? So I think you were talking about practical ways. For me, I discovered that the most practical way is still going back to the Bible.
Yeah.
1 Corinthians 13 has become one of my favorite scriptures to say, am I being patient? Am I being kind? Many times, and it's a good friend of ours that brought my attention to this so strongly, Amaka,
Okay.
where she was saying that many times we're kind to everybody except the members of our own household.
True.
That's easier for people to do.
You know, and this is somebody that you say you love. So it still comes down to, is love a feeling or a commitment? You know, is love a deliberate act or the butterflies? And there's room for the butterflies. But if you allow only the butterflies to rule, then those little foxes, that's where you find little foxes like, you know, I just sampled a few friends' opinions, and somebody said, oh, the little fox of being derogatory. Every time my husband talks to her, he talks down.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not being derogatory, he's just not being kind.
Kind.
He probably wouldn't do it to other people outside. It's another friend said, oh, she's always so rude to me. Like she just talks to me anyhow, and I find it, I don't like it.
Those are alarms going off.
You know, I don't like it. She's just rude to me. What? She's not being kind.
Kind. It boils down to kindness.
It boils down to being patient, being kind. What does it say? Love is patient, love is kind. You know, love keeps no record of wrong.
Wrong. Yes, so that's forgiveness.
Forgiveness. That's another little
Yes,
fox.
another little fox.
You
which
did this
I was
today.
about
You did this today.
Yes.
I
I keep record of it.
I overlooked it.
Record.
I overlooked it
But
today.
but actually, in the real sense, I kept
You
it.
kept it. You just kept it somewhere
So you're piling everything
inside
up.
the filing cabinet.
Till
Then
the
if
thing
something now
overflows.
happens, and they're like, the other day you did this, the day after that, and the person is wondering, I can't even remember that all these things happened.
You see, there's a scripture. When I worked in civil service, I put it right behind my desk, so you can't actually throw some things at me. Philippians 4:8-9. Whatever things are true, whatever things are pure, whatever things are noble, if there be any virtue, and if there be any good report, think on these things. Then I used to be a member of the Interact Club in secondary school. Then we had the 4-way test of the Rotary Club, Rotary International, 4-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? When you look at issues from these perspectives, you come to realize that I do say to people, love is never a feeling, because love is a person.
Oh, it's a person.
Love is a deliberate decision.
Deliberate.
When we are planning to get married, I said to my wife, I'm a careless spender. When I have 100,000, then members of my good fellowship, they always come. So I have 100,000 and someone says, oh, I have a problem and I need 100,000 to solve it. I give it out. I don't think about it. But when we started, I said, at this point, I know I have responsibilities. I said, so you become she's an accountant. I said, so you have become my accountant. 3 months down the line, I became a better money manager than her.
Wow.
But we reached an agreement. Every time I get my salary, she spends it. She makes a list up till today. My salary has always been like ×4, ×5 her salary. Up till today. Her own salary, when she gets it, she comes to me. She used to come and kneel down to me. It's not, I didn't read it in a book. It's my wife. She will bring, when we got married, I wasn't working. It was her salary I used to pay for my second master's in Unilag full-time.
Wow.
She will come kneeling down to say they paid her salary. What should we do?
Literally kneeling down.
Yes.
Wow.
And I will say to her, you know what? Go and fix the things you think we need to fix. All that happened because from the very beginning, courtship period or dating period, whatever you call it, it's not a period to be sensationalizing everything. Oh, it didn't open the door for me. It's
Yeah.
a period to converse, not a period to be kissing, not a period to be pressing the body. It's a period to sit down and say, look, I have this challenge.
This is me.
This is how I've been doing things. I need help here, because you asked her what marriage is in one word. God ministered something to me when I was preparing to get married. He said, marriage is the coming together of two imperfect people to form a perfect union. So I know I am not perfect up to today. The perfect side of me that people see is what she does. So when someone says, oh, I like the way you look, I say, it's my wife. It's so interesting that we don't fight. The only time we've ever fought as a couple in 13 years was because of a family friend that were staying with us because they had accommodation problem. And after that day, I promised myself it will never happen. But the only thing we fight about is I don't eat. She likes to cook.
Please eat.
She likes to cook. Now, and there's another thing. I am a finicky person when it comes to put things where they should be. 13 years. My wife will still keep things where she feels like keeping things. So I just,
That's hard.
so I just have given up.
So
I just have given up on that one to
Alright.
say you can't win that battle. Just let it go. And
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so
We
much.
didn't talk about
So,
babies.
Yeah, I mentioned when children
Yeah,
come
when
in,
children
right?
come
But I want to delve into sex matters, intimacy. I like my lady looking in a certain kind of way. I like it done in a certain kind of way. And depends on how introverted or extroverted the person is in the other room. You know, there's you are introverted naturally, but you might be extroverted in the other room. Yeah. So depends on that. How do they navigate that? Because sometimes a man is asking for certain things. The woman is a bit reserved about those things, or the woman is asking for certain things and the man is reserved about those things. How do you think they can manage? Because I feel like there's so many people on this table going through this particular one of she doesn't whine for me before they act. Like you come and dance, you know. They probably have a pole inside the room where you swivel round first, you know, before the main show, and the lady is like, this is rather too much, I can't do this. And that could be a major issue for the man, especially for some people that are more exposed. Maybe they were exposed before marriage, so they come into marriage with certain, expectations about that. So could you maybe speak to that? Do you want to say something or what?
I have something to say, but let me.
Okay.
I had that experience. We just got out of it. And I married my wife a virgin. And so I disvirgined her. And we had she had this strong appetite for it. And so, yes, we were doing it. Then when she started having children, I realized that the appetite kept increasing. Yes.
Yeah.
But the capacity to fulfill it was dropping. Then after my third child became an issue. That when I am done, she still wants to go.
She's just starting.
Yeah. So at some point I began to look around, and I worked in healthcare for 11 years. So I had the best of doctors around me. And I began to talk to them to say, look, this is what is happening. And trust me, I looked for things, but there was only one thing I wasn't going to do. I was not going to do anything that would put my life at risk. Because at the end of the day, if I die, eventually. So I came to realize that the reason it's like that is because as a result of childbirth, there's been an expansion. So what used to be sufficient, what used to be very satisfying, was no longer that satisfying. Then it was last week, and I sat her down and we began to talk last week, and I said, you know what? We need to begin to think about what we need to do. In this case, I can't be bigger. But what can we do? And we began to talk around it, then began to look at options. Okay, what option can we explore? What option can we explore? But we both understood that something led to that thing, and for as long as we're able to talk about it and we understood what it is, we're able to begin to jointly seek for solution on how to help one another.
Communication.
Back to communication.
Talk about it. And yeah, it sounds simple, but a lot of us church girls are shy about these things, so we're not communicating. And so make jokes about it, you know, make the jokes of having a scorecard.
Oh wow, how does that work?
Okay, but then again, like I said, communication. You also need to, how do I say this for our not married audience? As a couple, you just have to talk about it. You just have to talk about it. If you're that shy church girl that doesn't really understand what's going on, because sometimes you don't even know what's going on, you don't understand what's going on, read. Find out. I remember when we first got married and my husband had so many questions for me, and I was the shy church girl and I couldn't say. I went and bought a book for him and I'm like, you know what, all the questions you're asking me, they're here. Take a read.
You couldn't bring yourself to ask.
No, I couldn't bring myself to answer at the time.
Okay, but
Now. Okay. Let's talk. It's like wine, the older, like proper wine, or not those ones are not wine. But the older it gets, the better it becomes. The more you begin to understand your own non-verbal cues. To say, guy, it's like.
So even the
Case of headache, stomach pain today.
it's normal.
It's normal.
Please, is it normal?
You see,
Sorry, please, though. Before you answer, my brother, how will headache and stomach pain not be normal? Again, it's about, from the woman's point of view now, understanding your body. Nobody can know your body better than you, not even your doctor.
Oh, wait. There are times.
Hormones.
I'm not even talking about hormones here.
Hormones.
Wait now.
Okay.
There are times when ladies feign
Yes.
headache.
So there is real
and men
headache.
feign sleep.
There is real headache and there's psychological headache. There's emotional headache
Okay.
that I'm not specifying. There's financial headache that I'm not specifying. Headache does not make it less real.
So can we learn to specify which headache is worrying us?
Worrying us.
Because this thing is not. Sometimes it's not fair.
you see before,
It's not fair.
It's not fair.
It's the reality. It's the reality. There's nothing like they got married and they lived happily ever after. It does not exist. A fairy tale. It is they got married and they learned each other ever after. Yes. You're happy, but you're learning. You are living happily, but you're learning. You're finding out. You're
you keep
discovering.
working at
Human
it.
beings are like onions. You peel back, you peel back, you peel back. Shrek got it right, by the way. Was it Shrek or Donkey? Shrek. He got it right. They're like onions. You don't get to the heart of the onion unless you're cutting through it. And you cannot cut through a human being.
You destroy the person.
You just keep unraveling. Each new layer, some will make you cry.
It's even
Some will make
scriptural.
you laugh.
The Bible says, but we all with an open face, beholding as in a mirror. It said we're being changed We're being transformed. So we get to know ourselves. But there's something couples do nowadays that I believe is totally unscriptural,
Okay.
and people, I don't encourage it. You must have heard about BJ.
Oh yeah.
BJ.
So you're talking about oral sex.
Yes.
You don't encourage it.
Scripturally. Scripturally.
Where
Scripturally.
is it?
Scripturally.
Because
Okay,
many people are
now,
saying here now.
scripturally, oral sex is not permitted. Okay, what was the problem in Sodom and Gomorrah?
I thought it was homosexuality.
It wasn't just homosexuality.
Thought
He said they were converting the things that were meant for something to something else.
something else.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay, I think we should have an entire conversation
We'll
about
have
this.
an entire conversation around this because I'm very sure so many people don't share the same
Perspective, yes, of course.
Yes, yes. So we'll have an entirely different conversation. That could be like an episode on its own. It's not something we can, cover here. Yeah. So this particular one is about couples, because you know each other so well. You feel like, okay, I've married this person and I can just behave anyhow. For lack of better word, I would say see finish. Couples, we see ourselves finish. Sometimes we expect you to understand. He expects her to understand. She expects him to understand, which I'm very sure you're going to say communication. But apart from communication, is there a way we can learn to balance things as husband and wife? Appreciate ourselves, the little things. Learn about your spouse. And now this is where I'm going to be talking to singles. And I keep saying this: when you're courting, it's not time for what word did you use? Sensationalizing things. Truth is, marriage is for a lifetime. Your lifetime. We are ruling out divorce here. It's for a lifetime. So it's either you're in it fully or not. And if you're going on a journey, you're supposed to be prepared for it. Why don't you take out the time to have conversations around issues that are probably going to come up when you get married? We all have married people around us, and we hear so many things. Social media is enough to teach you that marriage is actually not a bed of roses. It's a serious matter. It's not all about the wedding day. It goes way beyond that. Marriage is work. Marriage is work. You must be willing to do the work. And that's why you have the period of courtship. Courtship simply means learning about each other. You can decide, whichever one you decide to do. You decide to learn about this person before you get married, which in my case is, or would I say, in my opinion, is better for you than learning about the person
In marriage.
You're married already. So at that point, you get to manage the person, right? Because you don't want the stigma of divorce or something you tend to manage. But how long can you manage, right? So back to our conversation. What would you say? How do we navigate this aspect of see-finish?
The see-finish syndrome. Okay, for me.
We'll also be rounding up, please.
For me, if there's anywhere I am permitted to be seen finish, it's in marriage.
Okay.
Because the Bible says the man and the woman, they came together, Adam and Eve, and they were not ashamed.
Okay, so I'm not talking about that. Right?
No, I
what
understand.
I'm talking about is like
The disrespect that comes.
You serve your husband's food anyhow. Yes.
Yes, I understand
you serve
that.
your husband's food anyhow. or you talk down on your husband, maybe he's in a conversation with his friends. There are some people that would go to their husband's offices or their wife's office to embarrass them.
Okay.
That one is beyond see finish.
Uh-huh.
That one is on another level entirely.
So see finish number one, your spouse is the only one that has the opportunity to actually see you completely the way you are. However, the fact that you've seen me the way I am does not in any way give room for disrespect. If you truly love a person, you will not drag the person. You will rather shield and cover the person. There are things that happens that I will protect the people I love. But when we get inside, I'll tell you straight, don't try that thing again.
Exactly.
That's what love does. Love covers, love shields, but love does not deny the truth. Love covers to say, you know what, I can't afford to expose you, because if I expose you, I'm exposed.
Yes.
Then when we get inside, I tell you, don't do that again. The problem is people don't really love themselves. People lusted after themselves and married things. And because they married things, the moment that thing is no longer available, you begin to see all sorts of issues creep up. It's not because those issues were new. Those issues have been there. But probably because the guy was a celebrity and the lady married him, because he said, I had a friend who said to me that he cannot marry a lady that he cannot use as a model.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
he said it. He was a Christian.
That was the motive behind
Yeah, he was a Christian.
So-
And we laughed about it, but I said to him, I said, then you will run into trouble. If his first marriage did not last 2 years, I said to him straight, you will run into trouble. God is not giving you a model as a marriage, as a wife. God is giving you a partner, someone that will bear the burden with you and help you. But I guess he learned after the first failed marriage, and the second marriage is much better now.
Oh, thank God. Okay. Do you have anything to add to it?
Just, yeah. When you I think we've established today that love is deliberate.
Yeah.
And so when you entered, now I want to deviate a little bit here to say that I've known two couples who met on their wedding day for the
Oh, wow.
first time ever. One of them, I think they should be 30, maybe 38 years now in marriage. The other I met on their 40th wedding anniversary. And we were all like, how did you meet? How did you say no? He met his wife after the wedding, sir.
Oh, okay. I don't get that. After the wedding.
Yes.
So
So
where
this
was
was what
he when
happened.
he was getting
He was
married?
here. He made some money pretty early and didn't trust all the girls that were around him. So he sent home to his mom to find a wife for him. His mother found a wife for him. They did all the traditional rites and everything. And I mean, this was in the days of no phones and all that. So they sent a message that they were coming on this particular day, and they came on that day. So it was at the park when he went to pick them up that he met her for the first time. You would not believe it if they were both not seated there telling the story. I'd seen them interact prior to that day, and they're best friends.
Oh, wow.
Back to what I said about love being deliberate and about marriage being purpose. If those two things are not at the back of your mind, you have no business getting married. If for you love is deliberate, then you will always have to go back and define it based on scripture. If, however, like he said, you married things, somebody wants hips, lips, and fingertips, what happens the day she's not able to get her manicure done? Or God forbid, hormones show themselves again,
Yeah.
and she gains Wait. I will not tell you my starting weight, and I will not tell you where we are at today. Let's just multiply things by things, and we'll come up with right figures. You understand? If marriage for my husband and I was about what we both looked like, he would have taken a hike long ago. Hormones are a wonderful part of a woman's life. And the side effects, nobody can ever predict. If somebody looked at my mom to marry me, the person would be very disappointed. You understand? So if you're marrying those external things, oh, he's tall, dark, and handsome, he's so slim, he's fine. And God forbid something happens and he's scarred.
What happens?
Do you stay?
Because that's what you married.
That's what you married, though.
That's what you married. And even if for some weird reason you have divorce as a plan B, marriage will scar you forever, whether you're with that person or not, whether you have kids together or not. It's like gluing two pieces of paper and trying to rip it apart. Something gets left over.
Yeah.
So why? You know, I ask when people come around, oh, once you get married, once you get, and then I ask you, after the marriage, then what?
What next? What next? So many people cannot answer that question.
Most of the responses I've gotten have been, hey, it's because you're married, that's why you're talking. And I'm like, yes, I'm married. And it's sweet. It's work, but it's sweet. And I want you here, but I don't want you here for the wrong reasons. You're here for the wrong reasons. It will be incredibly difficult. Where the work part comes in and you are so sure that you're in it for the right reasons, you can go back and say, you know what, there are times of touching base with your spouse to come back. And I think that helps with see finish syndrome. To be deliberate to say, let's touch base. Why did we even come into this? Oh, these are the reasons. These. Have those reasons changed? No. Have they evolved and grown bigger and richer and better? Yes. So why this? To quote these kid people, why this? You know, and then both of you are able to take dressing and realign and then come back together.
Oh, amazing. Amazing conversation. Yeah.
I hope tip on how not to let babies get in between the two.
Okay, yes. You skip that one.
Remind yourself that that child is there only because he's your husband.
Oh, yes.
He's not daddy because you had a child. How do I put it? It's not a case of the egg or the chicken. It's a case of you would not exist if I was not with this man.
Not with this man. True.
So sometimes, and it's hard for mothers to put that baby down and pay attention.
Then there's a follow-up to that.
Husband.
Also realize that baby will only be there for a specific
when they're
period
done
of
with
time.
you, they will just put their feet and go.
I always say this. I say this to my single friends or married, whatever. I tell them, you are with your husband. The children are here for at most 30 years. We are praying for them not to exceed 30 years in your house. Do you understand? They shouldn't get to that. And then they leave. Now, it depends on how you and your spouse have been able to build and nurture your relationship. When they leave, you either have a flatmate or a friend.
And strange bedfellows.
Strange bedfellows on the same bed.
If you're also in the same
room, it's not about sex.
It's
about
connectedness
companionship, right? It's about you having someone to talk to just be friends with that person. So if you have wasted your years of marriage, giving all the affection to your children, everything to them, but to your spouse, later it will tell.
Then children also have a way of making a mess of it more. They start getting married, start having children, then they pull the mother.
That's also a
Go on
choice.
now.
No, I'm just saying that
Omugo
then,
kind of
no,
thing.
not just Omugo. By the time you pull the woman, the man literally is dying in solitary.
But then
Because
again,
most times,
Old age
but then
bachelor.
again, sometimes they actually want our fathers to come. They refuse. Why?
I think he can answer this question.
but the
We
man,
have, we have to ask the older fathers.
the man would want to maintain, the man wants to enjoy relationship with the wife of his youth when the children are grown up.
Not travel.
Do you not travel
Doing
up and
Omugo
down and
all
the
over
wife?
the
I understand, but like typical, my father,
Will not.
my mom is coming for Omugo, and like we literally have to beg my dad to come. Like you beg him. He'll be like, "What am I coming to do in your house?" I'm like, "Okay, so what are you going to be doing there alone? Your wife is here. Come,
That's why
and
it's a
stay with
man.
your wife." Yes, I understand that manly part of him. But sometimes you people too just compromise stuff. I'll come.
Right.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Any last words, because we have short our time. You know, we started late, so we had to. Yeah. Any last words before we go?
When the vine keeper is careless, then the fox is breaking. So I think my last word tonight will be tend your vineyard. Leave other people's own alone. Tend your own.
Okay, my own focus will be on those who are yet to get married, who are preparing to, and I would say to them, please talk about everything. Everything you can. When you hear stories from other marriages, negative stories, talk about it. What it does is it opens your understanding and you're able to know where he or she stands on any issue. Once you can create the platform to converse and communicate before you get married, it's easier for you to transit into it in marriage. But when you don't communicate before you get married, you only take yourself to one location or the other. When you get married, the communication gap will stare you in the face, and that's where the problem starts from. So start talking from today. The things you can't condone, the things you won't change, start talking about it today. Yes, talk about it today.
It's not by force.
Meant for you.
It's not by
Talk
force.
about it today. It helps.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Share with me. Mr. Kayode,
Thank
I'm
you very
so grateful. I'm so grateful. And our viewers, you've been really, really, really amazing today. Yes, learning so much. Esinet, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Mary Katugwa, nice one, my daughter. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you. I appreciate you being here with me, Ma. Cynthia, Nez, nice talk. Thank you. Jennifer Agboli, we're having a great time. Oh, yes, I did have a great time, and I'm still having a great time. Yes, so Gladys says life is not always about me. Yes, life does not revolve around you. You have to also, think of others, think of your spouse, think of other people. It's not only about you. All right. Yeah. So Timothy Alta says understanding is central to effective communication. Thank you very much, sir. Olufemi Elizabeth says it's good to communicate, but also have to be done with love. Or rightly trying to communicate at times can lead to another issues. Can lead to issues when there's no understanding. All right. Glad you say, wow, kneeling down to submit her salary. That's epic for me. Like epic. Like okay, let's move on. Let's move on. Esther Ojaye says, I'm learning much here. Thank you very much. Ayodele Boladiru, that's my hobby. He says, I'm also learning so much. Thanks, darling. Thank you very much. Adewale Oluwatoyin says, this is indeed a learning ground. Esther Gunleye, my presido, says, awesome. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much, Ma. Namfe says, you have to consciously work on your relationships and both partners choose to make it work. Yes, it's a choice. It's a choice, right? Be deliberate to make it work. Yes. Marriage is a platform to evolve and grow. Like we rightly said here, avoid resentment, keep friendship afloat. Very, very key. Try to build a common interest if you have different occupations. Oh, yes, that's very correct. Like different occupations, say engineer and doctor. Find a middle ground so that you can gist around something that is not doctor inclined or engineering inclined, you know?
In those professions, there's always even
Yes,
a link.
there's a link, right? There's a link. Okay. Then Ifeoma Malik said, tend your vineyard. Sweet, 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 sweet. All right. So cover your spouse. Love speaks truth. Yes. Talk about everything, Mary Benyo. Thank you very much. Namfe says a good husband should tend his vineyard, keep his fences secure on guard against, or keep out the little foxes. Right? Okay. So Benitam says, wow, talk about everything. Esther Falusi says, nice conversation. All right. So thank you so much for being here with us. I'm sure you've learned a thing or two from our conversation. Time will not permit us to, if not, we have a lot to say. But we'll come your way again next month. This is May. We'll be doing another one last Sunday of every month. That's June now. Last Sunday of June, we'll be coming your way again. I'm bringing you beautiful, beautiful conversations that you will learn from. And don't forget, this is Candid Conversations with Liz. And here with me, I have my amazing guests. Thank you so much. I don't even know how to say thank you enough. Thank you. You did justice to it, and I'm so grateful for being here with me. And I have a little token for you, please, just from my heart. Please, Muchi, see your name.
Ooh. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kayode. Yes, thank you very much. Please just accept.
My name is an exclamation mark. Muji. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I would like to use this opportunity to say a massive thank you to our sponsors. Whoa, it's been massive. Thank you so much. Techly. Oh, you've been wonderful. Techly gave us this amazing space. They are actually our hosts. Thank you so much for this beautiful space that we are using. Thank you very much. Beehive. I need to stand up for this. Beehive. They made this wonderful attire I'm wearing. They sponsored my look for today. Thank you. I'm looking so amazing. I love my outfit. Thank you so much. And Braids by Teddy. Oh, wow. Are you seeing my hair? Do you like it? Braids by Teddy did all of this. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm so grateful. And Bolu, thank you. Thank you very much for always being there. I have Benga in the house today. I have Victory in the house today. Sam, thank you all. And my husband, thank you very much. Thank you. I see you guys, and I'm so grateful. Much love flowing from my heart to you guys. Thank you. It's been an amazing time today. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much. So, guys, till we meet again in June, this is me, Liz, from Candid Conversations with Liz. And I just want to leave my last words as always. Love is a beautiful thing, but all you need to do is nurture it and watch it blossom. It's work, so we need to nurture it and watch it blossom. So we come your way again in June. I just want to say, have a really, really lovely night. Bye.